So if you have chronic knee pain or patellar tendonitis, and you've tried knee over toe exercises, like elevated step-ups or ATG split squats, and the knee felt better for a bit, and then you went to run, you went to jump, or you went to lift weights, and then you ended up re-injuring the knee again. Today what we're going to show you is how to safely progress into knee-focused exercises by first concentrating on correcting the major hip imbalances that are causing your knee pain. But before we do that, I'm going to show you a testimonial from one of my clients I fixed with severe knee pain.
My knee's been bothering me for about 4.5 years. And I was at the point at one point where I could hardly play. Now, I mean, I've done numerous knee injections, just went to multiple physical therapy places. I mean, I got up to college to play college basketball, and I was just as bad as I'd always been. I went from not playing at all to being a starter midway through the season. And I mean, obviously a big part of that was my knee. I mean, I'm able to play full out 100% with no knee pain at all. And yeah, I really appreciate it.
So in almost all cases of knee pain, you're fighting muscle compensations from the hip, pulling the femur head out of alignment, which then also pulls the knee out of alignment. And I believe this is almost always driven by overactive TFL and also compensations coming from the lateral hip rotators, yanking the hip forward or inward or up, forcing the knee to absorb even more stress and torque, which leads to the chronic knee pain. And you can do as much massage or joint flossing or knee over toe exercises as you want, but those compensations will always remain until you train the correct opposing muscle group, the medial rotators. So now we're going to go in and show you a quick overview of the 4 hip medial rotator exercises we use, and then we're going to go in and show you our 3-phase system of how we train the knee joint once the hips are properly balanced. So here are the TFL and piriformis, the main lateral rotators that cause compensations. If you look at the TFL, it attaches to the IT band and pulls the knee out of position when irritated. To counter them, we strengthen the main medial rotators, glute medius and minimus, using 2 exercises, the glute fly and also the knee drop. The problem is clamshells, bridges, and band walks heavily involve the TFL and lateral rotators, causing further compensations and pressure on the knee. Here is the sartorius, a lateral rotator assistant and a hip flexor. This attaches right into the knee and pulls on it when it's inflamed. To counter it, we train the medial hip rotators, brevis, longus, and the gracilis, using a ball squeeze that lets the knees medially rotate in to target these muscles. Here is the lateral rotator assistant of the hamstring, bicep femoris. It attaches to the back of the knee and stresses the joint when it's overworking. To counter it, we turn the knees in during this hamstring exercise to target the semimembranosus. The most important thing with all these hip tests is feeling it in the correct spot without any compensations taking over. If you feel the TFL or other lateral rotator compensations, you're not actually strengthening the weak link and your knee pain won't fully improve. And all our cues and testing for these hip exercises is covered in our Rehab app. We also have free sample videos of the glute fly and knee drop in the description of the video. So now let's go into how we safely progress in a knee over toe exercise starting at phase 1. So in phase 1 of our app, while we're building the hip foundation, we start with a very low level knee exercise called the lying leg extension. And this we found to have the most minimal risk. We start with a 2 to 5 pound ankle weight. You place it on the foot to make it harder, or the ankle to take pressure off of the knee. You want to choose a weight that doesn't cause irritation, but lets you feel the quad muscle working. We focus on tracking the ankle in a straight line with the knee and turning the foot in slightly. The goal is to build up to 8 to 10 pounds without pain, 5 pounds on the ankle and 5 pounds on the foot. Once you pass that test, we move on to phase 1 wall squat. And we start with the yoga block a lengthwise distance from the wall. So you don't want to go this way, you want to go this way. And when you're squatting down on this exercise, you want to start in a position where there's no pain. And a typical start point for this exercise is usually around a 45-degree knee angle. And the goal is to get to 90-degree knee angle without any knee pain, holding for 3 sets of 40 seconds. And if you notice, the back comes forward off the wall. This takes stress off the knee joint and puts more emphasis on your glutes. So once you pass all our hip tests in phase 1, and you also pass the wall squat with 15 to 20 pounds, that's when we move on to phase 2. Phase 2 replaces all 4 hip foundation exercises with harder variations, targeting the same medial rotators, but at more intense angles and weight loads to fully correct compensations and take full pressure off of the knee. As far as knee-specific exercise in phase 2, we can now safely progress from phase 1 wall squats into our more advanced variation called the toe squats in phase 2. We start with no weight, hands supported, not going down super low to avoid excessive stress on the knee joint. Once you're comfortable doing this without pain, we progress into a weighted version and start dropping down into a lower position. We also incorporate a raised heel goblet squat on a separate day for more variety on the knee joint and to improve squat mobility for phase 3. So you have bone-on-bone knees, correct?
Correct. Both sides. Both knees.
No pain, correct?
No pain.
So once the client passes all our advanced hip tests in phase 2 and also passes the toe squats with 30 pounds with 0 knee pain, this is when we move into phase 3. And in phase 3, we transition more into a traditional lifting program where you're doing front squats, regular squats, deadlift variations. And yes, if you're into knee over toe style exercises, when you can start doing reverse Nordic curls, or if you like ATG split squats, you could start doing those as well. I personally don't have my clients do ATG split squats. I believe they're unnecessary for athletic performance. And I also think, especially if you're loading it up with a lot of weight, it can be very risky on the knee. But if you like them, this is a great time that you can use them in phase 3 because now you've had a solid hip foundation. So if you want to see the full cues, testing, and also the complete rehab program we have for our hips to fix knee pain, check out our Rehab app. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And also let us know your experience with ATG split squats or knee over toe exercises. And let's get some discussions going in the comments below.